August 22nd, 2019, Banji Akintoye, a professor and former senator, was appointed the head of the Assembly of all Yoruba groups worldwide. The delegate of the Yoruba groups, who converted Ibadan on August 22nd, chose Mr. Akintoye for the position. Mr. Akintoye was nominated by Abdurrahim Aduamigba, the chief imam of Yoruba in Ilorin, based on what was described as his contributions to the development of the Yoruba race. He was elected at the age of 84 to lead the group. Speaking at a press conference in Lagos, Mr. Akintoye said he accepted the position after consulting with his family and close friends and with a broad spectrum of notable Yoruba personalities.
The danger facing our Yoruba nation as staggering. We are faced by nothing less than an invasion of our ancestral homeland and by unrelenting harassment and killings of our people on our farms, villages, and highways. In the atmosphere of the ethnic cleansing that is going on in Nigeria, many of our people can no longer be sure of basic safety in their daily lives. More and more of our farming folks are abandoning farming altogether. The danger of food insecurity, even the danger of economic collapse, stares us in the face. Day by day, there are reports that large numbers of armed militiamen are being infiltrated into our forests and our towns and cities in all parts of our homeland in the Nigerian southwest and in Kwara and Kogi states. Our people have reason to fear. Our people have reason to fear that the infiltrated forces are always waiting for a signal from somewhere. Don't set a coordinated attack on us in our farmlands, our roadways, our towns, and cities.
Mr. Akintoye expressed gratitude to all stakeholders, considering him worthy.
Sorry, viewers, we just had to manage what we could, just for us to see, like when you say show and tell. And by the way, all the videos that were played in this show, that are on YouTube, you can type the name and get the full version so that you understand that what we're saying, that it's real. So, Otunba, from what we've been discussing, it seems that the Yorubas are now well organized. They have a well organized push. And can you please explain to our viewers the role of women in this struggle for independence, please?
Like one of my sisters has said, we women, we are more positive when it comes to this kind of thing because we think of our children, we think of our tomorrow, whereas most of our men, they think of today. So a lot of women are actually working on this project for us. We have really, really elderly women, professors, like the first female librarian in Yoruba land. She's there. She's there for us. Another one, Mrs. Bolanle Awe, Professor Towo Ogunseye. We have so many of them like that. We have. We also have several ladies now who are leading their own groups under YWC. They have their own groups, but the groups have been incorporated under YWC. Like in my own, I have a director who's a lady. We have executive members who are ladies. In fact, they are doing very well. In fact, in my own estimation, I hope the men won't get annoyed. We women are doing far better than the men right now.
As usual.
As far as I'm concerned.
As usual.
We are doing a lot better than the men. We've just put together a women's forum. Women, we call ourselves women of substance, in the sense that whatever you have that you can contribute to Yoruba land, you are welcome. We want not just to come and like the political women, the politicians who dance and sing and sing praises of all these politicians. No,
I know.
We don't do that.
No.
We don't do that. That's why we call ourselves women of substance. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have former deputy governors, we have, a few deputy governors. The deputy governor at the end of it, they are not really political. They are mostly apolitical. That's why they end up cheating them. especially when they are women. So we have a few of them like that, but most of the women are on their own, lawyers, doctors, traders, business women who are struggling on their own, trying to raise their families, trying to improve the standard of living of their families and of their communities. And they are really, really trying. They are really trying, educating other women to do things right, to not to do things the way the men are doing it. They are really trying, If I had known I would be asked that question in detail, I probably have brought you a list of quite a lot of them. But I've given you the names of those that are, the two names I gave you, they are really elderly women, all in their 80s. And yet they are still working. They are still working for the betterment of Yoruba land.
Right. It sounds like the job is divided. It's not like under one man's control or one man's franchise. So from what you said, it's like you have this Yoruba World Congress and you have people doing different things, putting the puzzle together so that we can complete the puzzle. So, and you're not there to worship anybody or anything. You're there to get the work done because we have no more time to waste.
No, we don't operate like the politicians. We are non-partisan. Our focus is Yoruba land. Just like I'm sure the women of Benue too, their focus will be Middle Belt. The women in the Lower Niger, their focus will be Lower Niger Congress, the territories there to improve the place. That is what the women we are trying to do. We want to improve the place, improve our Omoluabi, get our children out of cultism, get them out of cybercrime, get them out of prostitution. I'm sure you must know there are a number of ladies now that are being trafficked abroad.
Yes.
It's poverty. If it's not poverty, why would any woman go and be even if it's to be a housemaid and not be sexually harassed? Why would anybody go and be a housemaid in Lebanon? When she can be a housekeeper in Nigeria. She can do the same job in Nigeria and get paid now and live a more decent life. I'm not saying that everybody is going to become rich, but whatever you do, one should be able to do it well. Whether we become a rich nation or not, we will still need cleaners. We still need people nannies to look after our children. We still need women as cooks. Not everybody will be a lecturer in the university.
No.
Will be a doctor. But at least a nanny should be well looked after. She should be well paid for her services so that she too can go home and run her own home. You understand?
Right.
A housekeeper should be like my own housekeeper now. She comes in 3 times a week. She's married. She has 4 children. She goes back to her house. She doesn't sleep in my house. She has a life of her own. That's the kind of thing I want to see happening all over our ethnic nationalities. Everybody should have a life of their own, earn an income that is sufficient to maintain them and give them a decent life, which is practically impossible now with the situation we are in.
Right. Right.
All
right, callers. So, listeners, we are ready to take few phone calls. Our lines are open. Ms. Otunba will answer your questions. We can answer your questions. So call us if you have any questions on the things that we have discussed today. As you can see, we have built that bridge. One of the topics that we discussed previously on this show was building that bridge. To connect with people that matter, not to connect with miscreants that will pull you back, to connect with people that matter, people that are thinking what you're thinking, people that want what you want, and in that unison we will get what we are looking for. We will achieve our ultimate goal, which is to get this freedom. So we thank our sisters back home and the Yoruba nation working assiduously to ensure that these sufferings come to stop. And then we want to encourage our sisters in the eastern part of the region to stop playing games and thinking that it's one person that will do this. Our sister gave a very good example of how everybody is doing what they can for this self-determination process. Okay, so yes, we have a caller. Okay, caller, your name and where you're calling from.
To accept, press 1.
Oh. Caller, your name and where you're calling from. Okay, the phone got disconnected. So caller, your phone got disconnected. So yeah, so call us and ask questions, because we are really serious about this. This is not about name calling. This is not about one man or one woman. This is about the future of our children. We really have to get this right. We really have to do this right and do what works. We cannot be emotional about it. We cannot turn into name callings. We thank our auntie this morning for coming out to discuss this in further detail. The amount of work, monumental work that they have done in this restoration project, you'll be surprised. I wonder if my phone number, please. So the phone number is listed.
Call from.
The phone number is listed on our topic today. Caller, your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon.
Good day.
My name is Engineer Samuel.
Okay.
I'm calling from Sierra Leone.
Welcome.
I have a question to ask. You know, I am Igbo man. You, Munachi, is an Igbo woman. And we all are fighting for the same self-determination. I am not an IPOP member. I'm not a loyal Niger member. But all I'm asking is that how can we get out of this mess? Because Fulani is already prepared now to take over every land of people and the Yorubas. Please, I need an answer, please.
So, did you listen to what we talked about today? What Mrs. Otunba talked about today? The work that they are doing for this liberation process, taking the constitution down.
I am listening.
So, what other way? You know, we mentioned on our show here that there are two ways you can get this thing done. You can get it done through the legal process, or you can get it through war. And we are choosing the process of the option of going through the legal process. So legal process means taking down this constitution that is holding us down. Taking down this constitution that is allowing the Fulanis, Buhari, to drop his brothers in the middle of the night in our homeland. Taking back our land that belongs to us. Doing what was without this constitution. If you go and run an election, you are still under this constitution. They will continue to be born to rule you. They will continue to destabilize you. So since you guys don't have the ammunition for war, because a lot of people want war, and when this war comes, it's our children, our mothers and children that will suffer the blunt of it. And we're saying, why don't we do what works? This is some work they have been doing all along. They've been doing this now for almost 21 years, and they have their Freedom Park proclamation in December. And we are looking for a constitutional force majeure that is universal, that is going to be the whole region back home involved in it, to say that we reject this constitution that is holding us down, and we want to do what is fair to us, because the constitution is not fair to us. So that's how we're going to get it done.
I have another question. You know, there's something that I hear Tony Nadi say about constitution, and I want to ask: is it Nigeria constitution nobody is going to amend it?
We're not talking about amendment. We're talking about taking it down.
I'm telling you with the both of my heart, because I have worked in Nigeria as a student. I've worked in Nigeria with all my children in the United States studying. Some of them are in England studying. So I have the reason why I ask this question is that I know Nigeria better way more than any other. Even you know me more Nigeria more than any other. But you see Nigeria constitution, anybody that told you that Nigeria constitution is going to be amended.
We didn't say amend, sir. We didn't say amendment. You see. Are you listening, brother? We never said amendment. We said to take it down.
I'm not a bro. Listen. I'm not a brother. I am a 57 years old man.
Okay, so we are not counting age. We are not counting ages here, okay? We're just having a conversation. You're an adult and I am an adult. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we never say to amend the constitution. We say to take down. Take down constitution is not amending constitution. So those are two different things that we need to differentiate in what we're saying. Okay? So you see, this is the problem that we keep having with our people. They will be listening and hearing something else.
Because their minds are already preconditioned.
Yes. Caller, your name and where you're calling from. Please turn down your device.
Take down constitution is not amending constitution.
Sir, can you turn down the device? Hello? Hello? Yes, you are on. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Oh, this is Tochukwu from London. Thank you very much. You guys were talking about earlier, sorry, you ladies were talking about earlier about what is holding us down. I think one of the things as well that is holding us down is psychological. For example, there is no respect yet, enough respect yet for our women. Can you imagine kind of insults that people are hurling on our women here? Women still have no say in our society. So there's a lot of things that we have to work on. Anyway, with regards to what we are talking about today, my question is, especially to you guys that have been in the IPOB before, how can we get over this order of IPOB and LNC? Because it's actually holding us back. It's a lot of rancor. There's a lot of rancor which is not moving us forward as much as we want to. How are we going to bridge this gap? How are we going to bring peace in order for us to move forward? Because all this rancor, I don't see any need for it. There is no need for it. IPOB, to be honest, I'm not a member of it, but being honest, I think Nnamdi Kanu speaks truth to power. He has that microphone to speak truth to power. He tells people what is actually going on there in Nigeria. And I believe that's why most people follow him, because he speaks that truth to power. At the same time, LNC doesn't want Nigeria to fall into anarchy before we achieve what we wanted to achieve. They want to go towards it.
Okay, sir. We're getting a lot of phone calls. Just minimize your Randall. What is your question really? Because you're talking about.
My question is, how do we bridge this gap? How do we bring about the peace? How do we move forward?
Can I answer him, please?
Okay, our sister.
Okay, thank you very much, caller.
Achieve what we want to achieve now.
Okay,
yes,
caller.
Will still continue. We don't want to live in a country where we are constantly on top of each other.
Caller, my sister will address you, so please.
Thank you very much, caller. And that's what we're doing, because we find out that why the gap you're noticing is due to ignorance. They don't know what the diagnosis is, and if you don't know what the diagnosis is, you will not know what the treatment is. And that's why we have Otunba here. Please, let's not ignore our guest. Callers, please, we have a guest in the house. Ask her questions. Discuss what we're discussing today, please. This show is not about IPOB LNC. Please, there's a lady in the house. Let's begin to respect women, like you said. She's here to give us the aspects of Yoruba in what LNC MNN is doing. And that's why she's here. She doesn't know anything about IPOB. She's not part of it. So, but what she's part of is LNC MLN Alliance, and she will answer questions on those. And that is this. What we're doing in this program, in this our talk show, is to bridge that gap. Because, like we said, ignorance is the main thing that is making people not to do the right thing. If you get to know what the disease is, you will understand what the treatment. You will know that shouting around is not the treatment. That what Otunba has spent over 1 hour now to explain to us is where we're going. And it will be fine if our people begin to listen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sister. Caller, your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Araf. I'm calling from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Okay.
I love what you people are doing. To me, I just have a little question to ask. In terms of you people mentioned something of.
We can hear. Can you hear?
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear him either.
You can hear him. Can you hear him now?
No, we
Brother,
can't hear
try
him.
again. Go ahead. What about now?
Then
Sisters, can you hear her? Hear him?
LNC.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a Lower Niger Congress, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and this you people are going for, right?
The what? Repeat that.
Hello?
Yes.
I said the LNC, is it what you people are agitating for, or you people are agitating for Biafra? I just want to know.
Okay, we are not agitating. We are working towards our independence. And we are following the legal means.
Okay.
because we are not the only members of Nigeria. There's a sovereign nation called Nigeria. The world recognizes that sovereign nation to today because of the constitution. So we, not being the only members of Nigeria, have chosen to work with other federating blocks of that nation called Nigeria. And our sister here is from the Yoruba bloc. And we want our people, our callers, please, to ask us some questions to understand what the Yorubas are doing in this independence. We are seeking independence for all indigenous peoples within Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay. My last question, please. My last question. I saw what you people posted here, and the Yoruba people, they are calling themselves Oduduwa. So I am an Igbo man. So is it a crime if we call ourselves Biafrans? That's my last question.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Sister, you want to answer that?
Yeah, so like we have said severally in this show, our region is a multilingual region, multi-ethnic region. So because of that, you need what you call charter of relationship before you can actually get a name that you want to answer. It's a little bit different from the Yorubas. Yorubas are mono-linguistic area. They have just Yoruba. So it's easier for them to say this. This is Yoruba, this is Oduduwa. So in our own aspect, because of that, we don't want to step on people's toes. We don't want to seem to be conquering some people. We don't want to be seen as trying to step over some boundaries, trying to take people against their will. So we will come together in that whole region and have charter of relations.